Well, everybody, I've got a doozy for you today. Yes, indeed, I do. Um, I don't think I need to explain much about the hashtag BLM kidnapping. I think most of you guys probably know what that is. Four black teenagers abducted a mentally disabled white person, kept him captive for up to 48 hours, tortured him, shouted, "Fuck white people, fuck Donald Trump." They made him drink toilet water. They beat him. They cut his head. All sorts of horrible, depraved, evil, sick, twisted bullshit. And today we're going to look at some of the worst reactions to that incident from around the internet. I want to start light. I want to start slow, but they're going to get pretty fucking heinous. This first thing is from Slate, from their article. I just like their wording here. Very carefully worded from Slate. The accused individuals, 2 men and 2 women, appear to be black, and the alleged victim appears to be white. Well, you know, if someone appears to be black, it's usually because they're fucking black. If someone appears to be white, it's usually because they're fucking white. Appearance is kind of what dictates whether you're black or white, isn't it? Yeah, that's right, Slate. It fucking is. Check out these comments that I found on a YouTube video posted about this. This looks fake. False flag. Definitely a false flag. Is there some kind of black Alex Jones that you guys are listening to that I need to be aware of? It's a false flag. It's all fake. It's all a setup. Like, doesn't anything ever happen for real in the world anymore? Like, it seems like every time any sort of crazy event happens, the first thing we hear is, oh, it's fake. It's fake, everybody. Don't worry, it's all fake. Nothing bad ever really happens in the world. It's all just faked by the government to manipulate the people. I don't think the government is that competent. I don't think that they're social engineering to that extent either.
We have been kidnapped and tortured for over 500 years. I support these 4 African teenagers. The United States government, which was built by kidnapping and torture of millions of Africans, does not have a moral foot to stand on to judge these 4 African teenagers. If the United States was truly against kidnapping and torture, they would give reparations to African people. They would release all African prisoners. They would stop poisoning our water supply. They would stop police terror in the black community. Don't be ashamed of the act of these 4 Africans committed. Understand it. We are tired of being oppressed, terrorized, humiliated, and killed. You can only push a people so far until African people are free. Acts like these will continue to happen. Uhuru.
My great-great-great-granddaddy was a slave, y'all. And that's why I gotta torture this white boy. Gotta get revenge for my great-great-great-great-granddads, y'all. What? That makes no sense whatsoever. Because some crime was committed against your ancestors by potentially that person's ancestors, that means you have a right to do the things that you're condemning the white race for? When everyone who committed those acts is long fucking dead? Show me the white people today who still believe in slavery. Yeah, you could probably find some fringe fucking crazies out there who are like, yeah, man, we need to bring back slavery, y'all. Pretty fucking rare. Most white people believe that black people are equal to white people. Or at least that they fucking have equal rights to white people and should. No one's fucking trying to take that away. The only people who have this narrative that black people are oppressed is black people. White people don't give a shit. White people don't give a shit about oppressing you. We've got more important things to worry about than keeping the black man down.
African wisdom says, I'm from Chicago and all them killings ain't black on black killing each other. The police late at night be hunting the black boys, blaming it on gangs when it really dem. A boy from my school got killed. A witness said the police just shot him for no reason. He was a freshman. I don't believe this. Nothing they say. They just trying to bring martial law.
Yeah, I love how you guys call something that there's video evidence of fake, and yet you're gonna just throw out these wild, crazy conspiracy theories that apparently 100 and something people are just like, yep, that's what happened. This random bitch on YouTube said the police be killing black people in the streets and blaming it on the gangs. They just trying to purge us from the system so they can have their martial fucking law. Yeah, that's what's going on. All the fucking gang violence in Chicago, that is but a fiction. Really, it's the police going around just assassinating black people in the streets and then claiming it was done by other black people. What? What fucking evidence do you have for this? What? You live in a big fucking city, okay? You live in a giant fucking city that's full of witnesses. You know, I don't really think that the police could get away with this for long. There would be evidence eventually if they were just killing black people by the score. There would be evidence beyond your shitty YouTube comment. A friend of my cousin's brother's uncle's sister said that they seen some shit. Who gives a fuck? Bring some evidence to the fucking table. You can't, because that's not happening. That clearly isn't happening. What fucking world do you live in where that even sounds like reality?
Patricia McAllister says, anytime blacks strike back at these evil albinoid white devils, they are called gangs.
Yeah, every time they strike back, because this retarded, mentally handicapped fucking white guy clearly has done so much against the black race, right? I'm sure that he was the captain of the fucking slave ships that brought you motherfuckers over here, right? When you was on the plantation, he was the motherfucker with the whip standing behind them black people saying, get to fucking work picking that fucking cotton. Whoopsh! Yeah, it was all him. Back in the civil rights movement, when the cops were sicking their dogs and fire hoses on black people, that motherfucker was sitting there standing holding the fire hose, right? He was holding the fire hose. He was holding the billy club. He was the one setting the dogs loose. He was he's probably a member of the Ku Klux Klan, right? Burning crosses on those poor teenagers' lawns. They had to get back at him, and then when they totally justifiably kidnapped and tortured him for 48 hours, the media loses its shit. Like, oh, come on. Yeah, that's fucking reality. That's how it's all going down. Welcome to fucking Delusionville, population U. You know, when I said in one of my answers to black people videos that black culture is by and large a victim culture, this is the kind of shit I'm talking about. This is the kind of shit I'm talking about. And that little fucking nitwit over at Pathos, whose name I forget because he's so fucking inconsequential, when he criticized me for that, he should know also, this is what I'm talking about, you fucking retard. How when a white person is kidnapped and abducted by racist black people, all hopped up on BLM fucking rhetoric, and shouting out, fuck white people, as they torture this poor white guy, all the reaction to at least some segment of the black community is like, oh, it's all fake, or yeah, they deserved it. It makes me happy to see them. You know, we stand by them. They're good people. They're just trying to get back at the white oppressor. That's a fucking victim culture, you nitwit, retard, moron, fuckface. You fucking dirtbag, scum fuck.
Marco D'Angelo says, I'm from Chicago, and to be honest, I don't give a fuck about what happened to this white boy. You know why? Because my people were tortured throughout history, so I have no sympathy for him. Fuck him.
All right, well, if you have no sympathy for him, why should anyone have sympathy for your fucking ancestors who aren't even alive anymore, whose torture happened before any of us alive today were born? We're supposed to feel super bad about that, but you can't even feel bad for a human being who's suffering now. Fuck you. I hope you fucking die, bitch.
Curry Rice 19 says, I guess they forget all the inhumane things white people did to the slaves. They took our babies and slammed them against rocks. They took our babies to feed alligators, gator bait. Please, these devils deserve so much more.
Once again, yeah, because some white people of antiquity smashed not your babies against a rock, but some fucking black woman of history's babies against a rock or fed it to a fucking alligator. That means that anything that black people do to white people now is justified. You know, don't you think that's kind of a dangerous thing to be saying? You know, you're 12% of the population. White people are something like 60% of the population. And you're going around saying, you know, we should be attacking white people more. We should be hurting them as much as we can. We should be attacking them, and it's fine when we do it, and it's good, and it's moral, and it's justified. Don't you think that ends badly? You know, don't you think that that has a conclusion you wouldn't really care for? Because I guarantee if your point of view, if your way of thinking spread throughout the entire black community and the mentality of all black people was just, it's fine to hurt white people because of what they did to us once, then you're going to see new atrocities against black people. Don't you think? Don't you think that if you just feel like wantonly you can go around harming white people, how long do you think it's really going to take before white people don't give a shit about harming you? I mean, what world would you rather live in? Would you rather live in a world where acts like this are universally condemned, regardless of the race of the assailant or the race of the victim? Or would you rather live in a world where every time a black person is attacked by white people just shrug and say, who gives a shit? And where every time white people are attacked by black people, the black people just shrug and say, fuck it, they deserve it. Is that really the ideal world you want to live in, where everyone is racist and everyone's turned against each other? Doesn't really seem like a very good future to me. Seems like we should fucking all care about each other, and we should all care when something despicable like this happens. And then there's another perspective I saw quite a few times, where people were objecting not to the hideous nature of the crime, but to the fact that Black Lives Matter was connected to the crime. I'm just going to read you a few.
Vile, aptly named, says, people love to hurt the movement any way they can. They add BLM to any crime done by a black person.
That's clearly not true. There's plenty of crimes that are done by black people that are never blamed on Black Lives Matter. Most people understand that every time a black person commits a crime, it's not fucking politically or racially motivated. Most of the time, it's just motivated by money or territorial disputes or whatever. The same reasons any group of people kills another group of people. But when you have assailants shouting out, fuck white people, fuck Donald Trump, and specifically attacking a person for the obvious motivation of it being this, look, this person is this race that we hate. So we're hurting them and attacking them, and it's funny, and it's an occasion for levity and joy. That's obviously something that they learned from Black Lives Matter. That's obviously the rhetoric of Black Lives Matter. We've seen it a million times. Black Lives Matter people going on Twitter and saying, kill all white people, or fuck all white people, or we don't care about white people, or even just getting on camera and saying, white lives don't matter. Black power, white lives don't matter. And then we have these people committing a crime as all of this Black Lives Matter shit is going on, and they're chanting Black Lives Matter fucking slogans, and we're supposed to believe there's no connection there? You don't think? I mean, like, if it was a bunch of Nazis that kidnapped a Jewish kid and were like, fuck you, Jew, fuck Jews, you guys are controlling the world, and you fucking own all the money, and you manipulate the media, and you're all this, and you're bad because you're a Jew. Heil Hitler, Heil Hitler. Or is anyone going to be like, yeah, but you know, they're not part of an official Nazi group. There's no evidence to connect them to any of the existing Nazi groups in America. Is anyone going to have trouble saying, despite that, they're still Nazis? Obviously fucking not. Obviously fucking not.
D. Ray McKesson says, it goes without saying that the actions being branded by the far right as the BLM kidnapping have nothing to do with the movement.
Really? That goes without saying? They can chant anti-white bullshit as they all gang up and torture a white guy. They can spew Black Lives Matter talking points as they're doing it, but it's unfair to connect Black Lives Matter to that. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say, fuck you. You're wrong. It's totally fair to connect Black Lives Matter to what happened here. And here's a headline. Hashtag BLM kidnapping shows if black people want equality, they just have to be perfect. First of all, black people already have equality here in America. Name me one right that white people have that black people don't. Go ahead, I will wait. What's that? Oh, right, nothing. You got no answer to that question. Black people enjoy all of the same rights that white people do in America. So you already have equality. Don't know what you're talking about there. And what is this standard? Like, and even if that weren't true, you're acting like, oh, black people just have to be perfect, huh? We just got to be perfect. As if kidnapping and torturing someone is just like a minor imperfection. Oops. Yeah, little kidnap, little torture. Who hasn't done that? I mean, hey, of course, yeah, I remember me and my white friends, we used to abduct black people and torture them and call them nigger and spit in their face and say that Obama's a piece of shit and we don't recognize him as our president. And, we streamed it and no one ever cared. No one ever fussed about that. No one ever called us racist. So come on, what these kids are doing, they're just fine. That's just kids being kids. Fuck you. If white people did this crime to a black person, you would have no compunction whatsoever about calling it racist. Not only that, black people would probably be in the streets flipping over cars, throwing bricks through windows and shit. And that's not racist to say. We've seen them do it. We've seen them do it plenty of times over plenty of issues because that's what a victim culture produces. A victim culture produces perpetual victims who can't take responsibility for shit and just want to cry and whine and bitch and moan every time something doesn't go their way at every little injustice in the world, except for the injustices they should actually be against. Like 15 or 20 black people were killed unjustly by the police. There was more black people killed by the police than that, but most of them had weapons or there was some reason they were shot. Even if we assume that the police are lying about some of that, even if we say it's like 50 black people all across the United States were killed by police unfairly, unjustly. Even if we assume that number, which I think is way higher than what really is the number, but even if we did assume that number, that would be insignificant compared to the amount of black people murdering each other in the streets, which Black Lives Matter totally fucking silent about, doesn't give a shit about. If they do acknowledge it, they just acknowledge it as, oh, that's just another thing the white man has done to us. The white man turned us against each other. Because you know what? If it was 4 white people who tortured some poor black person like this and shouted racist shit at them and held them captive, do you know how fucking hard it would be for me to condemn those white people? It'd be the easiest fucking thing in the world. I would have no compunction or hesitation about saying those people are fucking assholes. Those people are evil fucking sadistic pricks. Fuck them. I would have no problem saying that. So what's your fucking problem saying it when the shoe is on the other foot, assholes? And I know that there's tons of fucking black people who are 100% against these people. I don't want anyone to get the false impression that these points of view that I've highlighted here represent the majority of black people, because I went to tons of black news sites and other like black forums and stuff to see what the black community in general was saying about this, and most of them roundly condemned it just as much as anybody else. But I did find this fringe element, and it was mostly, surprise, surprise, people with ties to Black Lives Matter who say, yep, this is great, this is wonderful, we love this, or either that or it's fake or it's bullshit. And even the ones who did condemn it only condemned it like, well, it was bad, but it's not tied to Black Lives Matter. Like, they're more defensive of their bullshit ideology than they are willing to condemn this heinous and vile, despicable act. And that's fucking sickening. Anyway, I don't want to chat your ears off all fucking night long. I'm the Amazing Atheist. Peace the fuck out. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and it's even more important, by the way, to share this video as broadly and widely as you possibly can with as many people as you can. I know that some of my videos are controversial, and sometimes people get shit for sharing them on Facebook and places like that, but I ask you to maybe just bear the brunt of people coming down harshly against you, to get my content out there, to spread it around so that we can create a more sane, just, and rational world. Thank you.